But I always saw the individual members in there. I was just like, man, that was interesting. It's like the person gained importance from just being connected to the group. So the group is you're part of this fraternity, and the group is respected, and so you get that treatment and respect. Um, but from a street perspective, I'm like, this don't. You still who you are. You still. Not that it was Greek. I mean, like, it's already kind of one of those things that's some names settling right in your stomach. How some white group gonna uplift you above y'all, the people that you know, it's like they ain't no. I've never seen any man come on the street, especially you could say a white man, who's just the last person you really be finding on the streets, and just go to somebody and be like, "You're cool now." You'd be like, well, first of all, this guy ain't cool, you know. So he don't have the ability. So everything was like it was like, what's going on here? I never joined a fraternity and joined the. That was a time where I was tempted, but I could never get over the fact that like I know I'm cool. Oh, I've been cool my whole life. There's nothing. There's nothing to be. Actually, it's something to be proud of. There's nothing to be boastful of. I just was born in the coolest place. You could say it's in a nest egg of love. It's in the ideal conditions. You could say it's very ideal. Now I can't be proud of it because cool comes from being around people who relate to you. You relate to somebody who's a hothead, somebody who's always blowing up on you. You wouldn't be able to. You'd be like hesitant and scared and nervous to talk around others. You wouldn't know what to say. You'd be afraid somebody would always snap on you or something like that. People been traumatized by growing around people like that. I don't even go into how it's the people that like they were. You got get 3, 4, 5 men to show that kind of love to a child, to a boy. Man, he's gonna develop like so mature. He's gonna be able to accept himself. He's gonna be able to open up more. So in college, I just couldn't. I couldn't let that. I couldn't let that slide. I'm like, no, man. If anything, I was, I was a bit envy of the prestige that the guys were getting from the women. Like that's how I came down. Like, why are these women going crazy? I didn't understand the nature of a woman's attraction. So I was already confused from the start. That was the only thing that was concerning me. I was always popular with guys, but with women, that's a whole different story. My popularity didn't have anything to do with them. On the flip side, I grew up with women blowing up on me all the time. So I never could really become comfortable relating to them. My relationship there was not cool at all. over guys, I ain't have a problem with anybody. That's the sign of cool. You know you got no problem with nobody. You got no enemies basically. So in college, you know, they couldn't deny me. Like you there, a frat would have a party and it just, I don't know. And I'd be all up in that place. Like, what y'all got going on back here? Oh, this supposed to be for, like, man, you let me up in here. You know? That's why I was like, you let me up in here, Macon, Georgia? Because I'm like, you're going to learn more about you're gonna learn more about people interacting with me than this, whatever, whoever, what. I don't know who started this Greek organization, but I know one thing for sure is that when you go back to the streets, when you go back home, when you go back around people, you got to learn how to talk to them. You're going to learn more from people like me than people who don't have any connection to your background, history, or heritage. It was just, that's how, the, that's how, that's how you know, like, if you meet these a cool guy, that's how they come at you like, they come at you like they belong wherever they're, you know, and wherever they go, just make a hole, make way. And you be like, damn, man, you just got confidence coming from it. It's you can't help but admire them. Why? Because they don't need you to. It's easy to love them. It's easy to respect them. And it was also just just a wrong example that was being taught. Like I thought that for all intents and purposes that I was better by virtue of the group that I felt that I, you know, which was my neighborhood, which was my city. But it was never used against people. Like it wasn't you just like if somebody was, you know, you just don't hold it against people and stuff. That's one thing that I you. So I'm like, if you are so called cool now, you definitely not acting like it. I was like, that social order was not blending in with the natural order of things. But it was impressive. I was like, well, dang, you know, the streets don't have a stage. We don't have a platform. We don't have a streets getting is under attack. Ain't nobody in the streets no more. Word on the street is not safe. They done through. See, I was at a time where there weren't guns and drugs proliferating in the streets. It was a completely different environment. Man. It was nothing but just. I mean, it wasn't even hardly any fights. That's not cool. Somebody who's getting upset and like can't control that, you know. Like I say, the real guys that I learned from was the way they carried themselves, the way they related to me and everybody else in the streets. People, Like who they gave each other respect. They gave each other love. Understand this is a group of men who, by all manner in the school system, is being dogged and disrespected. Yeah, you guys came from some slaves, and really, to be honest with you, like they do all this passive aggressive, subtle code word talk, basically to say, you guys were just some monkeys and some trees, and we took you off those trees and we made you civilized, and that's why you should thank us. Matter of fact, stand up and pledge and swear your like. This is kind of disrespect that they get. Like, damn man, I came here because I wanted to honor my mom and father, and you guys trying to give me the business. Are you teaching us that, and you got it to where we gotta memorize the stuff and tell it back to you? You can't even ask no questions. So on the streets, it was like people had love for each other, people had respect for each other. Post what you can call it. I mean, you gotta understand that like war. This is an assault. Get into crack cocaine and drugs. Like, come on, a person in their right mind who even knows how to make some stuff like that. That came from a lab that was funded with lots of dollars. That was somebody who, like, they wanted to destroy that community. That, like I say, when the natural order, it always overrules any other order. That's why I say when I was in college, it doesn't matter. All these social fraternity orders didn't have no effect on me. Nor did the football team, nor did the basketball team. I'm like, who were you before you just joined this group? Okay, step aside. Experience is always going to be the greatest teacher. You're not going to shortcut that just because somebody bestows some false label on a person. You're a football player now. You were broke. What did you have to do to get in that fraternity, man? What was so what was so good about it that now that you're in it, you're all of a sudden bestowed something that you should be respected upon and stuff. None of that. The only thing that I saw was just that like it was enough that the women were like going crazy over these guys, and I was such a loser when it came to women. I did not understand them whatsoever. So naturally, I'm tempted to go join them. And I tried one time. I got tempted and tried. My grades wasn't good enough. That's the only thing that, had I would have went through it, I probably would have been, just that kind of guy that would stick to it throughout the whole course. But I never weighed the significance of what they meant. This was changing like the way a whole way of life that was being disintegrated and destroyed. On one hand, you had all these people. When you talk about the soul of America, it's going to be with the underdogs, people who are down to earth, who are again, basically oppressed by the earth. But this whole, you could say, social order, natural order, street order, just being just destroyed in college. destroyed on so many levels with college, especially when you get into, the whole student loan thing, the debt that comes from that, and just really with the whole, I would call it bouginess that comes from that. Yeah, it's frowned upon for those who don't go to college, and somehow they're not smart enough or intelligent, and basically then so you got all these groups that people form in college, and it was just not, it was not there the generations before. You didn't have a bunch of people that was separated into all these groups. So now you can't even recognize people. You can't even recognize. If you go back and look at a good video to watch is Soul Train. You go back and look at Soul Train, and you look at when they interview the singers, just because they would give the microphone to the crowd. This is where you can see a good way, even if these were just some phony questions. Look at the women who asked them. You tell, you see love in their eyes. It was love all in that crowd. You just tell. But actually, you gotta have a warm heart. You gotta be able to feel something. You go back, you just see all that love. All they talked about, all they sung about was love. Love this. Baby, I love you. I miss you, baby. What destroyed that? I was born in 1980. My generation, people who were born in this year was like born at, they seen the whole rainbow of going up and then going down. So I had lots of experience learning from people in the street because it's all heart in the street. Anybody doing something, back that time we did sports. It was always recreational activities to do, football or basketball. There was no violence. It was like, I never saw somebody get killed. I know some people who have though, but no, I know a lot of people. But now it's violent. So it don't pay to be cool, that's for sure. Ain't nothing cool wearing, I mean, go into the you don't even want to look at it. You don't even want to look at it. It's almost like, man, it's like, damn, man, that's not what's cool. Like you trying to flip a man, making him in a woman. Put these earrings on, put this perfume on, put this dress on, put this makeup on, put this, get your hair cute. It's like, nah, man, no, 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 no. For who? For women? Like I said, now if they got women to where they tell them that this is what they want, don't believe them. I don't know those women. I say I grew around guys who were cool, but the women, when I became of age, it was already too late. guys, I was just interested in guys, boys, play, run. I had 3 sisters. I didn't see nothing fun hanging with them. As I started to become attracted to women, it took me no one there to really welcome me. I had friends, but there was no real organized guidance. It was just, I saw them succeeding, and it was a mystery to me. So by the time I became a teenager, the women have already been, like I said, they've already been schooled. They've just already been taught to be just mean. It's mainly how they've been trained, how they've been educated. I would say I try to not confuse